Hey, it's Game Mechanic again. Been had a little break from 7 Days to Die. Kind of got into another game, Scrap Mechanic. I bought the game a couple years ago. It, I don't know, they only had creative mode out. I played it for maybe a couple hours. Really didn't get into it that way, but now they've released survival mode in it and free update. But this is, I had a couple friends were asking about it, and I was kind of yeah, maybe a little proud of some of the things I built, so I figured I'd kind of go back to the beginning, but this is where you start off. You crash on this planet. There's a big tower up that way. You can see the scorched earth here. Part of your ship's up there. It's actually a battery up there that you use. So you got to go up to the top of that tower, grab that battery, fight a couple things. You get all these green boxes. There's loot in those. Anyway, you come back and you put that battery in here, which turns this booger on, allows you to craft some really basic stuff. Crappy tires, it's just pretty rough. But then there's this thing that has no function. It has a use button, but you can't do anything with it. There's a couple beds back here. There's some other odds and ends. There's a locker that you get there. There's a plant. I mean, and everything in the game, you can pretty much pick it up. And it's on the bar, and then I can place it right back down. Stick it right back there. But I'll take that with me. I didn't realize that was there. Anyway, at the very beginning, you start off here. You have nothing except you and your hammer. And so then the first little place, game's a lot about farming. Thing is, I guess the farm bots and the things that are supposed to take care of this planet malfunctioned. You were coming in to fix it, and you crashed. So, but this is where they basically teach you how to farm. And there's dirt and stuff here at the beginning. Kind of made a little makeshift perimeter around it. Very beginning, early game, like first couple days in the game. But anyway, you so you're on foot. You can gather the materials that you need to make a crappy little car just to kind of get you mobile. But honestly, at the beginning, I wouldn't even recommend doing a whole lot here. There's not a whole lot to do here. I would basically get out of here and go to the mechanic shop, which has like the next phase. So this is a truck that I built. It's got double wishbone suspension on it. I kind of like it, but again, I kind of don't like it. But anyway, this is one of the trucks you can build, and this is, not in game. I wouldn't really say there is an end game so far, but it's a lot of materials, all this pipe. It was fun to build. But anyway, so we're hopping here. I'm gonna kind of show you what I've got going on down the road here. Um, but yeah, all these little green boxes here, you can loot them. The trees, some of the trees that are burnt give you an ember, which allows you to basically like forge glass and higher tier metal blocks. The battery I mentioned earlier is up in the very top, not the very top, like almost the top level of that. There's a couple of guys in there. This is pretty much kind of like the first POI. You can see loot boxes everywhere, and I don't really worry about these loot boxes. Most of this stuff's like beginning stuff, some seeds and dirt, things like that. I've got plenty of that stuff. So after this, that all is kind of the same on everyone I've seen play it. But after this, the map is pretty much random generated, I guess. So I would recommend hopping on this road. So I came out through here and walking. It's not a horrible haul, but you can see that big building way off in the distance. That is a warehouse. You can go through and loot those. Get some real good loot out of them. I've been through a couple of them. I've got some things, but I haven't actually focused on those much. But anyway, what you're looking for is that big glowing wrench in the sky that you can see right over top of my truck, and that is your workshop. So we'll roll in here in the workshop. I'll show you all what's going on. You can hear I think you all can hear those pipes clanging and banging around in this car, but that's one of the things I don't really like about it. And you get it around stuff, it causes a little lag because of all the bearings and things, but it seems to work all right. But anyway, you end up here, and you have up here on this ramp, this is another machine that allows you to build a full-size craft bot, cook bot, refinery bot, dress bot, resource collectors, yada yada yada. And you can see here what you need to build all of them, but it pretty much produces it, drops out of this thing here in the center of the ceiling right there, drops down. So I was trying to make basically a base that nothing can touch. Your farming's on the ground level. You can't actually like build elevated farms. You have to grow on the ground. As far as I know, it's still that way. I haven't tried anything else, but I was just thinking about, how can I do this to where I know that nothing's going to be able to touch my stuff. So I came out here to the carport, and this was where I started my first manufacturing area. There's a set of drop down stairs here, and they come down and actually run up. I've got that controller set up to where they'll stay down there for about 10 seconds, and then you'll see them here. Enough time for you to get up, and then they come back up on their own. Every once in a while you'll come in. This is kind of wonky because it is basically powered by that bearing right there. Didn't put one on the other side because it seemed to do all right. I don't know that that would stabilize it, or adding no bearing make it kind of have problems. But this is the craft bot. These are storage containers. I connected one side to the other, so all of these storage containers are all linked together. So this thing can pull out of any one of these boxes. But its main input is here, and its output is there. And this is the refinery. This is my little makeshift lift elevator that I made. So it goes down, drops down. I'd pull the truck in here, offload everything into the crates. This thing will hold 3 crates. Let's go kill this little greenie here before he decides to take a chew on my truck. And those guys are easy. They're not really aggressive. They kind of remind me of little puppy dogs running. Watch this guy. It's funny. He's a good boy. Look at that boy. He wants to play. And I'm just a mean guy smacking him with a hammer. They will hit you. It's like they do like a head whip and whip that big antenna off the top of their head, smack you with it. But anyway, this right here had this drop down. You saw that little frame rate glitch, but and they all went up. It's in 4 pieces. I didn't know about how the welding tool and everything worked at the time, but it worked. Everything I needed to do, it did. It worked fine. Started making this platform. That platform's not there, but it's concrete and diamond plate metal, which this is when I realized how big of a grind all this takes. So this is kind of like this is cosmetic stuff. The bed, these were potato chests. Still got potatoes there. The dress bot right here, so you can get your clothing. You can change everything on your guy right here. And then I made a little table, and that's one of the burgers that my cookbot used to sit right here, but he's not there now. I moved him. So anyway, all this is cosmetic. These are actually chests. They're not big chests, but I was kind of keeping food in them. Threw some seeds up there on top just for decoration. A calendar on the wall. I could actually pick that burger right there up and eat it. The coffee cup does nothing. It's just looks pretty or whatever, cosmetic. We'll set this booger right there just for the heck of it. Anyway, I dolled it up, made it look nice, and it was working. Well, then I got to where I was getting a bigger truck, and I got to where I wanted more of these because I was standing in front of this thing, letting 3 big storage containers full of wood and stone logs, things like that going through, and I was standing here just over and over. So I was like, okay, I have to expand. So initially I had built a farm right over there, basically centered on that bush. I had built some wood around that bush and like decking, and had 4 farm plots set over there. But I realized that it was actually easier, rather than having to guard all 4 sides or 3 sides. One side was up to the water. It was easier to guard on one side only. So you can see the railing and stuff. Like I said, all this is cosmetic. The lighting up here. I mean, there's concrete up here in the ceiling and stuff too. So this is when I realized the grind was actually real. So, and it definitely is. It is a hell of a grindy game, but it's fun. I don't mind the grind. So anyway, I decided that I was going to move everything. See, you can see how the car kind of glitches out every once in a while. It kind of does some funky stuff. So I came over here and I built this. Well, I wouldn't say monstrosity. It's nowhere close to what I want it to be, but I don't know why this today, man. That thing's really going nuts today. Anyway, drawbridges. Hit that button there. It goes down. Same thing as over there. I drive across. It'll come up on its own. I do have another switch there. I can get back out. So what I did, as you can see, I've got 2 of these. I left that over there. I was going to destroy all that over there. I was like, nah, let's just leave it. So I've got 2 of these over here. They're connected with basically like vacuum tubes. So this thing will refine. These boxes here I can set, basically like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 of them in front of these 2 right here, full, and it'll just eat it all. They do have a reasonable range, so like I can set a box there, bring another box on out here in front, and if there were logs in there, that thing would have just kicked into gear and it would basically refine anything that was in both of these boxes. So you can put these down double thick. It will pull from them. Initially had thoughts of being able to build a vehicle and leave it just on the vehicle to where I didn't have to take it off at all, which would have brought these out a little further. I may do that. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, all this, I mean, this is all concrete. That's tier 3 wood, diamond plate, concrete. These came out of one of the warehouses. I just kind of put them up, just kind of tinkering around looking to see how I wanted to lay it out. I don't have nearly enough of that in order to complete what I wanted to complete. But anyway, so the little storage boxes that were up there, up on that platform where they were all tied together, here's the two craft bots that I made here, both these level 5. You can see these are connected with those vacuum tubes. So this box and this box is an input from these two here. All these boxes across this bottom run are all connected. I'll put some stone and concrete in that one. That's metal, wood. That's more tier 3 metal, embers, and the honeycombs and the goo poop, chemical water, and then I've got this water here, which is connected to a water pump that's out over there, pumps it into here. So, and I figured out I couldn't put this over on the stack and tie them all together because every open slot in any of these boxes, that thing's going to fill it up. It's going to fill them all up. So, and then this top is just extra. I mean, I've got electrical parts and component kits and stuff. And I did put component kits down here and because these up here aren't connected to the production run. So anything that's in any of those boxes down there, these two guys can pick it up and use it. And then their outputs are here. So one's that one, the other one's that one. I can't remember which one's which, but pardon me. Anyway, so I've got warehouse keys there, some other parts and switches and buttons. There's a windshield, a saw blade, some hydraulics. These are all basically like building materials, a little more of that, but I just kind of stacked these up here and made a little shelf for them, painted it. These are that goo poop I was talking about, these little guys here, they poop it out. You feed them cardboard and they'll poop it out. I've had a lot of people talk about how they disappear. I've actually been watering them, and if you throw a bucket of water on them, they make a noise. So I'm kind of in the middle of experimenting to see how long these guys will stay. I've had these here probably 10 in-game days so far. And I'll go away mining and stuff. I'll be gone for 2-3 days. Come back, they're still there. Prior to this, I had one on the other side of the road, and it was gone in maybe a day or two. So I don't know if the water's doing it. I haven't actually fed them anything for several days, but I have been throwing water on them. They're still there. So these are potatoes. That's a food overflow, more food. And so I wanted to make this thing a horseshoe so you can drive in that side, offload all your stuff, drive around. And this is kind of the parking garage for the other vehicles, and then another drawbridge. This one's a little wider than that one over there, just in case I build something massive that I really kind of want to get in here. But drawbridge works, looks good. I thought about painting it, just haven't done it yet. This is my first generation mining vehicle, but it works well enough that I really haven't done a whole lot of upgrades to it. But I mean, it comes down, you turn the blades on, it comes over, crashes them in, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I like it. It works well. There's a lot of improvements I could make, but it does work well. 2 gas engines, one for the drills and one for the engine. Like I said, I kind of made it kind of like a garbage truck, and then I have 3 of the storage containers in the back, and I let the bottom's open, so all I got to do is drive over top of stuff, and it just pops into boxes. And it works out pretty well, though I do want one with more than 3 on it, and I've thought about putting a refinery on a vehicle, but I just haven't gone that far yet. This works pretty well for me. This is my little beefed up vehicle. You can see I got dual suspension on each tire. I'm probably going to end up 6-wheeling this, or to be 12-wheeler and stretching this out so I can get more in there. But I can easily stack 1, 2, 3, 12 the crates of the farming goods in order to take them to the trader down there. So I can stack this, 12 tall. It holds it, drives fine. Get a little wheelie pop every once in a while, but it does pretty well. Then I also made that back tailgate kind of looking thing there is for picking up the little captured guys, the Nicolas Cage guys. I've heard them all called all kinds of different stuff. So Larry the Strand, I don't know. But anyway, there's guys inside these cages. You pick them up, knock them up in here. So yeah, that's got a, the tailgate will drop. Those things open up. The tailgate drops. I go behind the guy with a hammer, smack it with a hammer, roll it up in there, and then, just bring it right back up. It squeezes it together to where it won't fall through the middle. These will kind of dig under it and pops it up in there. Threw these up on the sides because I did lose one. It rolled off the side, but so far this hole has not been a problem yet. If it is, I'll probably just add something here. Left some of the floor cut out for weight issues. I do have some tier 3 concrete and a floorboard in the front to keep the nose down, when you're driving there. So anyway, this is my horseshoe, and you talk about a grind, diamond plate metal and concrete on all this. It's definitely a grindy game. These saw blades up here, the bots don't like the saw blades, so when you're getting raided, it kind of keeps them away from this area. They won't be as, I still get them in there, but not very much. I figured out I just kind of start throwing these little concrete pillars up everywhere, so instead of them coming up and banging on my walls, they're just stalled out here for a minute, so I can stand up there and shoot. But in all these heads, you can see the amount of green heads I have. So anyway, when I was building my farm, I started putting the woodwork up there, and I was kind of thinking, I was like, yeah, Japanese garden kind of thing. So I just kind of started going in this, got the little mood lighting. These are all seeds. I got corn up here for feeding the cows, just seeds everywhere. Been throwing a lot of the seeds out, but now you can actually make fertilizer and things out of seeds. So I've been saving them. Anyway, this is a 55 crop plot. That's a 55 crop plot. When I redo this wall, I'm going to move this wall out 3 notches so that I can get another run in here to make it 60 and 60. More than 120, I may do it. I've got room on each side to do it, but I'm just not 100% sure if it's necessary for the way I play. I'm doing more grinding than building. But anyway, this is the farming area. These over here is dirt and buckets and all the things that you needed to use before, because you used to have to basically, until you get to where you can automate it and get vacuum pumps and stuff built, you pretty much have to go to each one of these and chuck water out of a bucket on them. So yeah, 60 things of water to sling is a pain in the butt. So I have this. This is off of John Bain's design. He's the one that did this. I'm not taking credit for it, but I built that first. And I was like, I could probably hide that. So it's not really hidden too much, but if you're just walking through here like this, you don't really notice it all that much. It's not store thumb sticking out. But anyway, you can go through, plant all your crops. I could do a plant run of crops, but it's not a big deal. You come here and smack this button, and she just waters. And I think I've had one time where it didn't actually hit one of them, go around and grab a bucket. But all that water is tied into this box, which vacuum tubes run down through here. If you listen, you can hear the pump running down here. So as I'm using that water, this pump is right under here, pumping all the water back. So it works pretty well. I haven't really had the need for another one yet, but I didn't, I was trying to figure out where to put this water. So you have to connect this to the pump with the old connect tool. So you can see that I connected that to the pump. So the pump's actually just returning. It doesn't actually go all the way to the end and go just straight back to zero. It actually has to pace twice. But first time it waters, once it goes out and hits that sensor, it kills the water and just counts itself back on these blocks. So there's a sensor on top. That sensor is looking at these glass blocks. So every time it goes over a glass block, the controllers are counting how far it goes out. But there's a sensor on top of this. Every time it sees one of those blocks, it's telling this thing to fire water. So, and you can actually put vacuum pumps on to where it'll actually shoot the seed into the ground. You can follow behind it and water behind it. It's a lot more um, automated, but I just haven't got to that far yet. It doesn't take much time to do what I'm doing this way. So anyway, kind of got in here. This is kind of like the bar slash kitchen food area. There's my cook bot sitting back there. You can cook all these things up. I've got, the milk and more milk and steak and things like that from the cows. These are empty. Well, not empty. That's the higher tier foods that you can cook. But I don't know. I kind of like this. It was pretty cool. Found one of these, stuck it in here. Some flower pots around. Got some glass in these windows here. One thing that I did figure out is that if I wanted to paint all this in here blue, then everything out here is going to be blue as well. So actually, these things are 2 blocks thick, concrete on the inside, brick on the outside, so that when I do decide to figure out how I want to paint this, I can paint it. Put in just a little, cosmetic little bathroom here. You can hear my little guys over there, the little worms over there making noise. This probably I had initially thought about making this like the bedroom, put a couple beds in here, put the craft or the clothing bot in here, yada yada yada. I just haven't done it yet. I mean, my clothing bot is still over there, so I just haven't done it yet. So then, with the way that my production area over here worked out, because I wanted to bury all that, I don't want you to see this mess. I'll have to repaint this, but if you look underneath here, it's a mess. These boxes, there's no T's in these vacuum tubes, so you kind of have to use boxes for T's. But all of that in order to get these 8 boxes, or these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 boxes connected. But it works, and it works fine. I have no problems with it. I have 0 problems with it. I think I'm going to go ahead and paint that, because if not, I'll forget it, and then it'll drive me nuts. So let's just paint that. Okay, so, and the craft bots is everything in there, plate scrap mechanic, If you haven't, these are where everything comes from. So stuff comes in on the truck, it's offloaded off the truck, those totes, set them in front of these refine it, put it into these 2 boxes, the 2 yellow boxes down here I showed you earlier. Then I can come up here and just make whatever I really need to make. Right now I'm kind of low on materials because I haven't farmed for a little bit. Did another round of building. And then on the top, I went ahead and just brought this up so that the stairs connect here. See, so had a lot of cotton, was just kind of looking to see what concrete or the carpeting looks like. It's nice. It's even quiet when you walk on it. But like down here in the ceiling of this place, I like the way the ceiling looks in here. So I painted it that it's like a turquoise kind of color, same color as this. I like the way it looked, but then when I got up here on top, I was like, it looks like crap. I don't want a floor that looks like that. So once again, I decided to double layer it. And this carpet, I threw it down, but that's not where it's going to stay. So all it's going to come back up. I'm probably going to make like when I first started this, I was thinking about making like a lighthouse. And I still may do that because there is a big rock under the water, like right, oh wait, it's over here. It's right in line with this center corridor here. So I thought about actually raising this arch up to the level that this room's going to end up being. Bringing it on out, maybe even have the arch go over top of the roadway here. And then out here, you see that big rock. So I was thinking about coming out here and building a foundation on this rock and kind of making a lighthouse out here, which that's probably going to come. I just haven't really gotten to that part yet. But, and like all of the supports and stuff that I have underneath here, I've changed it. It was all this raw, this cheap metal and metal that I got out of the warehouses, but I don't know. I didn't want to just have a floating platform, so I bricked it out and kind of put a brick facade on it to give it some texture to where it's not just flat walls. And then you can actually swim up underneath. And it's like that's all brick there. And so I've got, this is that vacuum tube for the water system. So the water tank that you saw up there that was bricked in is sitting basically right on top of that. And then this goes over to that box that was in the production room that I had to pull water from. So, but anyway, I made this little thing so you could come up out of the water, and bang, we're right back there in the main hallway. I haven't really done much with doors, just because I don't really need doors, and it's, you know, you can do a push button switch and have the door open for you. You can have multiple switches on each side. You can have, there's a lot of options as far as the automation, but yeah, well, back to the farm. I want to take that same setup and do it again over here. I just haven't done it yet. Let's see, what else could I get into? But this is the base so far. And this truck, I'm pretty good with this truck because I drive it all the time. And it works well. It's not as, you know, I guess effective or efficient as some of the other things that I've seen people build, but there is another guy, Scrap Man, I believe is his name, that has a horseshoe base like that. And not to say that he's not going to make it into something that puts this to shame, but I'm far from being done with this. He's got it out of wood. This is all concrete, you know, so it's not dissing anything. His vehicles are a hell of a lot better than my vehicles, but anyway, and then there's, kind of nicknamed this guy over here number 2. When you get over here, kind of the same thing as the battery in the spaceship that was back over there. You come in here, and in order to power that machine that makes your things that we were talking about a little while ago, you have to get another battery. So these are extra awnings and some other things that I've gotten accumulated. Some tires still there, an antenna. Kind of enclosed it, but like I said, like doors, you know, you can make a door do this, you know, but I did put doors here because I kept having hay bots just roll in here on me. So I did put doors on this, but I've progressively kind of pulled them out of here. But there is one of the hay bots that actually lives. You can hear him. I don't know if you can hear that. Make another noise. Anyway, I nicknamed him. Yeah, there he's up there. Nicknamed him number 2 because, you know, he spawns like every couple of days, and there he sits. Anyway, the battery for that thing, for that production thing in there, is in this room. So there's my buddy. That's number 2. And he doesn't like me as much as I like him. I kind of like him, but he doesn't like me at all, so don't hit me. Oh, they got the door messed up. Give me the door back. Oh, yeah, that door hurts. Stay open. There you go. But yeah, don't smack the door on the front side. You got to smack it in the back. But they drop these legs. You can refine them. You can actually throw them in those totes. The harvest totes. I call them totes, but I don't know what they are. The little flashy thing you see in the wall here is actually one of those legs that got fused into that wall like, golly, weeks ago when I first started playing this. But a lot of trees are gone, a lot of trees are down. There's nothing to mine around here. Everything has been scraped clean. I kind of like the looks of the trees, so I haven't like clear cut everything around here. And I really haven't actually even made a logging machine because I haven't really had the need to. Just wood's pretty easy to come by for me. I think it is. But I'm going to kind of show you real quick before I end this how far I have to go. I have a few of these little posts set up here because I got lost early on. Ended up having to kill myself, which wasn't too bad because I was right like down over the hill that direction and didn't realize how close I was to home when I did it, and I was just like right on the other side of this hill. But anyway, I've cut a lot of the trees out in the areas that I travel through, so I'll open it up to where I don't really have to worry about banging off trees. Leave a few trees, like this is my main drag right down through here. Go up and over that hill, come hauling down through here, up and around, on around here. But you know, there was mining ore of mine over there, metal and stone to mine over there. It was, you know, it's not everywhere, but there's lots of banks of it here and there. But I've basically clear cut all of it. And like there's a big farm, a big hay farm. There's another cow, or they call them walks. Their udders are on their heads. It's kind of funny looking. But yeah, it's way out through here. Before you ever get to, this is how far I've come. Like here's one of the burn biomes, the embers I was talking about early in the game to help you make steel. They're burnt trees and they're in these burning biomes. You can see them over here. Whoop, can't really go over that rock. But you can see them over here. There's several of these, and I've cleared probably 3 or 4 of these things out. There's also the little caged guys over here too. I don't know if there'd be one. I just got this guy the other day. I don't know if how fast their respawn is. Oh, you can hear the Haybot over there. Yeah, there he is, that guy right there in that cage. Oh, Haybot sees me. Come on, you want to play? I'm just going to shoot you. Yeah, you like that. Yeah, another circuit board. I've got tons of them. Anyway, that other big truck I was talking about had the wooden tailgate and everything on it, and the 2 pistons on the sides to squeeze it together. I can bring that thing, back it right down in here. You can hit these guys and hit them. So you just basically smack it up into the back of it and pick them up, take them to the trader, and you have to have them for like this gun. You have to have them for any of the guns. I've got enough to where I could go and get the shotgun and the Spudling gun, but I just need more fruit, or more crops. So I need to do that. Where did I put my truck? There it is. We'll get lost out here talking. But yeah, and the embers, I don't know, it's not bad to get. There's a lot of it. But let's go on out a little further. Where am I at? Okay, I know where I'm at now. Yeah, and this field right here, man, they're everywhere right here. This thing is thick. Came out here one day and had like 5 of them chasing me around. Good thing about the truck, smash, it just kills them. So yeah, there's my little shortcut down through here. And this is the road on the back side of that warehouse right there. So kind of went up and around it. Just out basically farming materials. These little roadside shops are cool if you're needing materials, need wood, some other, the little special things like those signs that were in my little bar area. You can pick those up here. Pick up lots of materials out of those. But yeah, like you can see these gray mounds down here. All these gray mounds, they all had rock in them. It's all gone. I farmed every bit of it. And I farmed stuff, whoa, there's a little lag. I farmed stuff way over to the right as well. Kind of gotten out here. There's another warehouse. That's a single story or 2-story warehouse. That's probably the one I've been thinking about. It's like I just need to bite the bullet and go roll through that thing. But I'm like I said, I'm way out through here. In order to get, let's see, can I get through that tree? Or yep, hit a tree. Didn't see that other tree there. Oh boy, now we're stuck on this rock. And anything, I mean, you can jump out of the truck and pick it up with your lift. So like, as long as you're not carrying stuff, if it's in the boxes, it's fine. But if you're carrying stuff where you can just like pick things up and just stick it pretty much anywhere, you can't really lift it. But this, the way I built it, I have to like jump up in here fairly quick and extend these pistons, or it doesn't go back and clear my head. It wants to basically sit right on my head. So anyway, I'm just trying to go out through here and see if I can show you another chunk of rock. But as you can see, the map is huge. Well, there was a chunk in those trees right there that I missed. The map is huge. I mean, it is monstrously large. There is a city with a whole bunch of those POIs in it. I have not found that yet. There is an area, like a beach area almost, where there's a whole bunch of those caged guys at. I've found that. I haven't really gone up in there. Went down and got some rock and some trees, but you can see there's a, wow, spinning this thing too fast. They did an update today too, so it's a little glitchy on me. But yeah, you kind of roll up in here, get up on it, turn the drills on, and just start slamming stuff. And it busted up pretty quick. There is quite a bit of manual labor, I mean, to bust them up, but if you're diligent with it, you can bust these smaller pieces up without getting out of the truck and using a hammer. One thing about mining is the friction, some kind of friction thing that basically makes your truck just slide all over the place. it's kind of annoying because it seems like it gets really, really bad at the sites. But anyway, so, you know, get all these up, drive up under, boom, 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 and now they're going in those boxes. I don't know if you can see those two, but you can see them in the box. When we zoom in here, you can see those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rods in there. So it works. It's pretty neat. So anyway, I was just kind of putting this out there as far as what I had built so far, and just kind of showing off some of the world, some of the other things. But yeah, it's an awesome game. I mean, it really is. It's got its problems just like anything else. Bearings and pistons and things seem to have some glitches with them where everything will just kind of go kind of wonky. You saw the wheels on my other truck bouncing around and squatting and kind of spaghettiing out. But it's pretty fun. I mean, there's not, you know, you can kind of play as aggressively as you want is another thing. So if you don't want to go and fight a whole bunch of stuff, you know, you can build smaller farms, and you get smaller raids. The bigger the farm and the higher tier food you have, bring on bigger raids. The warehouses are full of tape bots, which they'll shoot basically tape at you out of tape guns, I guess. And you got 100 hit points. They do 55 points each hit, so you get shot twice from a tape bot, you're dead. So you gotta be really quick with them. Yeah, there's a little wheelie pop there. But yeah, and you know, I'm cutting corners off. I've been through here a bunch. But yeah, this is basically hitting die. And what's cool about those is that you'll hit them, and I think, did it already do it? Yeah, his leg's in there. So I hit him, his leg hit the ground, and in the amount of time it took me to smash him with the front bumper, him to get squashed and die, it sucked the leg up that quick. So it's pretty cool. I do kind of like that feature. But yeah, I'm enjoying the game. It's pretty fun, and I'm more of a builder than I am a pew 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 go, you know, shoot 'em up kind of guy. Let's see if this guy here do bam bam, and another leg. Yep, another leg. It's scrap metal. You can take it back and refine it. You can refine it right there on site, but I just let it hit the crates. And then back across the little desert area here, back down through my little corner, up and over the hill, and I ain't driving very good today. We are back to the house. Usually I'm coming through here with those 3 boxes full and another like 40 of those rods just stuck on the rear end, up on the back bumper and the tailgate, and wrapping around those boxes. That's why I want like another box. I've come back with enough loot to fill like 7 of those boxes. So you got 3 of them full, and the rest of them you just take a box, set it on the ground right behind it, and it just pulls it right up, stick them in front of the thing. So yeah, that little trip, and it's not too far off. You go on down the road this way, and I'm fairly close. It's not too bad. I'll go ahead and drive out through here real quick and show you all there's a leg laying over there in the yard, a little flashy, something shiny. You see it, there's a little green guy back over here. Bam, hit him. There's another POI right there, and then you come down the hill, and this is one of it's not the trader, it's like a packing plant. Basically you take stacks of carrots, stacks of broccoli, stacks of radishes, and then tomatoes as well. You've got a vacuum pump, put it to a box, push the vacuum pump, get your nose up against the end of here, you know, wherever your vacuum pump ends up being, and it all turns green, and then you can sit and pump them in there. Then it spits out these big, humongous crates out the side, shoots them out here. They land right about in that little area that's marked off. So then you load them on the truck, and you haul them to the trader guy. And there is another one of these processing plants on, you see that, well, that big tree way out there in the distance. Here's another couple of my markers, that blue pole right there. This was me marking the trader, saying if you're going to go to the trader, go up through here. So the trader, this is another kind of one of my highways. I'll kind of show you this out through here. Oh, I'm thirsty. I need to drink something. Oh, man, he makes some really funky noises when he's hungry and thirsty. Let's see, eat up a little bit here. And I'll show you this last little bit and we'll get out of here. But anyway, this is kind of like one of my highways, and there's not a whole lot here. There's some trees. You can see there's a couple of hay bots there chasing a cow. But this is kind of a highway that takes you out, kind of like me going over the hill back down there. This takes you out that same direction, but just a little further to the, if that's the south, I guess it would be the east. Because I believe that way's south, so yeah, it'd be east. I think, I don't know. But anyway, come up through there. Trader's right up in here. So you take your food and your big crates of food, bring them up here, park that booger up on this little platform right here. You can see the big vacuum looking thing, and you just go over there and you keep hitting that button until it's done. It'll suck all that stuff right out of your truck and up in there, and then you can go over here and talk to the Larry the farmer guy. And you can see I've got a little bit of stuff. I spent a bunch of bananas getting the cotton seeds there, so that's why I don't have any bananas there. Still going to get some broccoli, and I got to get the pineapples, but you can't buy those. You got to go through the warehouses to get them. That's another reason I'm thinking about getting into warehouses. So yeah, if you kind of like getting into some, if you're into a good building game, I mean, it's not aggressive survival. Yeah, you got to get food, and you will die, and you'll get ambushed by hay bots and things like that. You get bum rushed by 3 or 4 of those guys. You're in trouble if you don't have a gun. They hit pretty hard. I think it's anywhere from about 15 up to about 35 hit points every time they smack you. But yeah, if you get 3 or 4 of them coming at you, and they all seem to come at you at different paces, you hit one, it like stalls him out, so the next one will come up, and you got to hit him 4 times to kill him. So you get 3 or 4 of them up there, and they're all kind of taking turns taking a smack to the face with that hammer. Eventually, they're going to get you. But yeah, it's like the fishtails. But yeah, this is my little scrap mechanic world. And like I said, from that very first building we saw that had all those green boxes way back over there by the spaceship, everything past that point is basically random generated. So I kind of feel I got a little lucky. I've seen some other guys that have this the mechanic shop here, that there's no water over there, and there ain't no water that way. It's a haul to get water. I just kind of got lucky on it. So, and then like I said, I built my base out here on the little peninsula that's kind of jutted out through there. You can kind of see it goes up and around my farm area, comes back in over here. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, if you like this and you like what you see, I recommend getting the game. It's a really good game. But I mean, if you like it, please hit that like button. Subscribe. It's fun. I have a lot more videos coming out shortly too. So there's my first little intro to Scrap Mechanic Survival, and be back with some more probably as I make some additions. If I get that lighthouse built, I'll probably want to show that off a little bit. So give me a like. Come back and see us. Talk to you later, guys. Have a good night.